Okay, so the scene starts off with Keith pulling back up to the Castle of Lions after going on a Beta Marmora mission. And bro came back yoked as hell. Buddy went on a time skip and came back taller and more buff. Bryce James did the same thing. Bro was 5'5" the other day, apparently he's 6'6" now. Them the nutchies must have kicked in. Anyways, Keith then introduces the squad to some new people he met during his mission. His mum, the old T and Rommel, and his new space pet Cosmo. He then continues to say that Lotor's a traitor and he's been fooling them the whole time. And the squad's over here confused because they've been working with Lotor for the longest time now. Keith then says they need to attack Lotor straight away, but Pidge explains that he's in the contestants field with Allura so they can't attack to keep her safe. And Shiro adds on to this, saying they should wait for them to get back to sort this out. So from here we cut to Hagar as she's spying in on the paladins through Shiro's eyes without bro even knowing. Coran then asks Rommel how she's even alive after the 4th grade ninja war with Zarkon. And this is where we get a better context on why Lotor's a bad guy. So Rommel says that during the attack some Altanes were out on trading expeditions and went into hiding after hearing the news about their home planet being destroyed. And Lotor was able to find these Altanes and bring them to a secure planet past the quantum abyss, keeping them safe. And right here I was thinking bro's a good guy. How is this a story about him being a villain? Or Rommel continues to say that after a while Lotor said that he needs to take some Altanes to a different colony to increase their chances of survival with no communication between both colonies. Lotor then started to test and choose Altanes that were viable candidates to survive the journey. And after a while Rommel's brother was chosen to go, and before leaving he left the communicator so they can talk while he's there. So we fast forward a couple days, and as Rommel's sleeping the communicator starts going off, and her brother tells her that she should come meet him in the forest outside of town. And when she gets there she sees the crashed ship with her brother inside, and he tells her that Lotor's been capping this whole time and the other colony's a lie. And Rommel's over here like, I knew it was fake. I knew it. So we fast forward another couple of days and Rommel finally meets Keith and Crowlier. They then devise a plan to go over to the second colony, and when they get there they see that Lotor's been sucking the quintessence out of every single Altane that's been there, ending off the backstory. And after hearing this story, the team get an alert saying Allura and Lotor are on their way back from the quintessence field. Rommel then says they should attack right now, destroying Lotor, but Shiro steps in saying that as soon as Allura is secured they'll take down Lotor. So we cut to Lotor and Allura coming out the ship, and Lotor wastes no time to get to rizzling up Allura. And after using all the moves he learned from me, a master in Riz, he ends up securing the kiss with Allura. I know Lance is over here heated. It should have been me. He waited for 3.5 years. Lotor did it in 1 week. He waited for 3.5 years. Lotor did it in 1 week. I said he waited for 3.5 years. Lotor did it in 1 week. He gotta get his act together, brothers and sisters. Anyways, Allura and Lotor then go to the deck of the ship, and they immediately up the pose on Lotor, telling Allura to get away from him. And this is Allura all confused until Rommel shows herself and says that Lotor killed her brother and thousands of other Altanes. Lotor then goes to defend himself, saying that all this time he's been trying to preserve Altanean culture, and although some lives were lost in the process, they were honorable sacrifices to save millions in the future. And the fact they now have access to the contestants field, that people can now live in peace. And I can't lie, after hearing this speech, to me Lotor is not a bad guy. His intentions were right, he just went about it in the wrong way. And the fight between Lotor and Voltron later in the series further proves my point, because basically throughout that whole fight Lotor was trying to reason with them and show them that he has no bad intentions in what he's doing. Anyways, Lotor then tries to rizz up Allura to get her on his side, but Allura grabs him, throwing him over her shoulder, bouncing him like a damn basketball. And as soon as this happens, the hangar gets breached with Lotor's previous troops trying to capture him. And in the midst of all this chaos, Hagar then starts to take over Shiro's mind, talking about some "you are mine." And this scene right here solidified Lance as my favorite character in this whole show, because after seeing that Shiro's going through something, he immediately takes charge, telling everyone where to go and what to do. Bro is a natural born leader, quit playing with my nigga. But unfortunately this is short-lived, as controlled Shiro wakes up punching Hunk in the face, sending him flying into Coran, then turns sucks Lance in the face, making him do a whole backflip, and then he throws his Bayard at Allura, but she just manages to dodge it. And the next thing we see is him walking out with Lotor, with the whole squad knocked out on the floor. This right here really just shows how strong Shiro really is, cause he just off-screened an Altane who has super strength, Hunk, Lance and 2 other Altanes, and walked out without breaking a sweat. Bro is really like that. Anyway, so we cut to Keith's team as they see one of the ships step out, and then they turn their heads to see Ezel geeked as hell shooting lasers at them. Jared McCain was doing the same thing. Bro was dropping 30 on your favorite favorite team are having a jolly good time out there, just to go back home to make TikTok dances.
Personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
So after bombarding them with lasers, Ezo dips out, stealing the ship. And then we see Shiro running past with Lotor. Pidge then sees us running after them, but she hesitates in shooting Shiro, allowing him to get away. Keith then says everyone should get to the Lions because they're gonna need Voltron to fight Lotor's ships. And everyone's like, but without Shiro, how are we gonna phone Voltron?
Shut up, bitch.
Keith changes his gear, runs up on the Black Lion, immediately gaining his respect, allowing him to pilot it. And I ain't gonna lie, this was very tough. We then cut to Lotor's ships as they're cruising, thinking shit is sweet. And a laser comes out of nowhere, hitting one of them, and we see the 5 lions coming on straight timing. Keith then flies past all the ships, not even paying attention to them, going straight for Shiro. He calls him, trying to talk to him, but Shiro's over here like, Tom Holland, man, I won't talk to you, bitch ass, and ends the call. Keith then gets an alert saying his team is getting violated and decides to spin the block, going to help them. And just as the laser's about to hit Pidge, Keith blocks it with his own, and they all decide to form Voltron. With the same 30-second animation as every time they form Voltron, this shit got so tiring. Every time they went to form Voltron, I was over here skipping the scene because I'd seen it so many times. However, there is an upside to this, because every time you see this transformation, you already know that boy Voltron's about to cook. And that's exactly what he's doing right here, because he's just weaving these lasers like it's nothing. Zephyr, Archer, and Ezo then combine 3 of their lasers together, creating a huge one. Voltron blocks this but gets pinned against some debris. So Keith tells Coran to shoot at the debris behind him, which he does, allowing Voltron to get out of the line of fire. Keith then tells Lance and Pidge to create them some more cover, so they start shooting at the roots, creating some debris, making it harder for Lotor's troops to get through. This is like me trying to talk the fine shit, have to maneuver through 20 elite level defenders just to say hi. Lotor's generals manage to get through this debris, grab Voltron and throw him into another rock, and then decide it's time to dip, with Hagar opening up a wormhole for them to go through. Voltron then gets up and goes after them, using 30 seconds of overtime boost to make it through the wormhole, because they can't allow them to steal Lotor and the ship. But this speed is still not enough, so Keith tells the team to deform as the boost from the detransformation will push him through the wormhole. They then do this and Keith manages to make it alone, leaving him stuck on the other side. Keith then comes out the other side of the wormhole just to see a whole Gara fleet staring him down in the face. They then start firing, but Keith turns into Jake Paul, dodging fair fights, but he could not be hit. Archer then sees this and decides to go after Keith, but Keith's over here like,
you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
Cause he lures up behind the ship, hits her backflip, landing on her, then blasts her. Bro is not to be played with. So we cut it inside the ship as Shiro hands off Lotor to Zephyr and Ezo. And out of nowhere, Keith comes busting through the side of the ship. He peeps them and dips out as Archer's coming back after him. So Ezo then closes the door and Shiro hands off Lotor to Zephyr, leaving Ezo and Shiro alone. And I know y'all see this beautiful specimen in front of you. I do not care that she's an alien. This show be producing 10 out of 10s. Allura, Ezo, Archer, Veronica, Ramel, fucking nigga Shay.
Yeah, he's lost, man. He don't know what the fuck to do, I could tell.
I might have gone a bit too far to end there, but y'all get the point. Anyway, so Hagar then tells Shiro to lead Keith away and then eliminate him, as Keith has a strong connection to Shiro, making him vulnerable. We then cut back to Keith fighting Archer, and Keith peeps Shiro in the ship leaving, so he then decides to follow him, leaving him open to Archer's shot, but she decides not to take this shot and spins back as she secretly likes him. Now I ain't one of these weird My Hero shippers, but this is kinda obvious. Anyway, so we fast forward and Keith follows Shiro to this isolated rock orbiting a planet. He then follows his footsteps, goes down this elevator and enters this test tube area. He touches one of them, it lights up and he sees a clone of Shiro, and then he turns around to see that the Gora have been mass producing clones of Shiro. And this is where we see Shiro pull up behind Keith, and bro wastes no time to get to squabbling, cause he runs up on Keith trying to punch him, but Keith equips his shield blocking it, rolls in and blocks the second one, getting slammed into the wall. He then weaves the third one and equips his dagger. He weaves then clashes twice, then weaves again, but gets punched by Shiro down to the next platform. Shiro then comes down with the hammer of doom, and just look at this animation. This shit is better than certain animes. Boo, look, I'm looking directly at you. You clutched up at the end, but that first half was absolutely atrocious. You got Voltron out swagging you right now. Anyways, Keith weaves this and then awakens his blade, and Shiro also equips his blade, charging at Keith. They clash, sending Keith down a flight of stairs, and Shiro jumps, hitting the Kevin Gates while coming down to slice at Keith. Keith manages to weave this and they clash again, and Shiro then goes in for another attack, but Keith ducks as pushing the blade away and goes in for a punch. Shiro manages to block this and gives Keith the meanest uppercut, taking off his helmet. Keith then turns on the jets, running away from Shiro while weaving every attack. He then jumps off the platform and Shiro grabs onto him and they go tumbling into some wires. Shiro lands and looks up to see Keith as Spider-Man throwing him down to the next platform. And that boy Keith just starts to show off, hitting this nasty soul skill to clash with Shiro. And he gets so angry we see his Gara side start coming out, with his eyes turning yellow and more sharp and his skin turning more purple. Shiro then gets out of this clash, swiping Keith's sword away, then attacks again, but he weaves this diving to get his sword. He then weaves 2 more attacks before clashing with Shiro, and then weaves another one one, causing Shiro to cut through metal, making this crate fall down in between them. Keith then tries to talk some sense into Shiro, saying that Shiro once made him a promise to never give up on him. And this nigga Shiro just starts talking crazy to Keith, talking about some,
"You are a worthless, bitch ass nigga. Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should kill yourself now."
And this ain't even an exaggeration, he deadass says this. Just listen to this.
"And I should have abandoned you just like your parents did. They saw that you were broken, worthless. I should have seen it too."
What did he do to make them niggas that mad?
Keith then says that he's not leaving without Shiro, and Shiro gonna see that none of them are leaving.
Bitch, I'm about to blow up!
And while this is going on, Shiro's arm starts to tweak, turning into a new form, and accidentally shooting out a giant laser beam, almost hitting Keith and cutting off a chunk of the facility. Shiro then manages to gain back control, looking hella menacing, aiming at Keith, shooting a giant laser at him. Keith dodges this, jumping off the platform, hitting the "I believe I can fly," landing on the platform below them. But he looks up to see Shiro shooting another laser at him. He then jumps and rolls out the way, but Shiro shoots another laser at the rocks, causing this whole chunk of the facility to go falling down. Keith then slides down and jumps off the platform down to the next one, just barely grabbing on. And this makes no sense, bro just jumped from 200 feet, his arms should be gone. Anyways, Keith then climbs back up and tries to call to get his dagger, but he runs out of energy and Shiro lands, and he immediately tries to end Keith's whole career. But Keith just about manages to grab his dagger and block this, and I ain't gonna lie, this bit right here had a real nigga crying, cause Keith told Shiro that he loves him like a brother, and it actually looks like he gets to Shiro for a minute. But he then says that Keith should let go and that he should stop fighting, pushing his blade further down to his face, burning his face, giving him this scar. And this is where we see Keith go Gara mode one more time, unlocking the black bear, slashing up and cutting off Shiro's arm. Shiro then stumbles back and somewhat comes back to his senses, as his arm was the thing that was giving Haggard the ability to control his mind. And before we continue with this vid, I just gotta sit here and glaze this shit for a minute, cause this fight is absolute peak. From the music to the animation and the emotion of why they're fighting, this fight is absolutely beautiful. This is up there for me, I can't even lie. Anyways, back to the episode, and the bomb that Shiro set up earlier finally goes off, causing this part of the platform to hang on by 3 wires. We then zoom in to see Keith holding onto Shiro, hanging on by his blade. He then tries to pull them both up, but his dagger starts to slip. We then see some flashbacks between Keith and Shiro, and the second bomb goes off, causing him to fall down into space. We then get this majestic shot of Keith, and then he closes his eyes, getting knocked out. He then wakes up in this purple space area, hearing Shiro's voice, and this has Keith all confused, until Shiro appears in front of him and explains that ever since his fight with Zarkon in season 2, he's been dead, and somehow the Black Lion was able to save his essence, leaving him trapped in this area. And now that I'm really thinking about this is kind of crazy, cause that means ever since season 3, when the Paladins found Shiro again, we've been seeing a clone without even realizing it. Anyways, after giving this information, Shiro then disappears, and we see Keith actually wake up inside the Black Lion with Shiro as they came to save both of them. They then leave the area dipping out, and that's exactly what I'm finna do right now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Peace.